On today's Minute of the Apes, Aldo, Otto, what's the difference?
Exercise with an ape maker, human down. Then talks. With a divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want. War or peace. The only good human is a dead human.
And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please, God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd. That's Richard. That's Sean.
Hey.
Otto is not at the table today.
No.
You know,
I do have photographic proof, though, that my DVD says Otto.
and what Sean has that he is like a dog with a bone.
Yeah, I'm not letting go of Otto now.
All right, minute 13. Sean, tell us what's going on.
All right, we start minute 13 with us finding out that it's McDonald's, the governor's #1 assistant, and ends with Armando telling the crowd that they are mistaken.
Let's take a listen to minute 13 of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Who the hell's that?
Take it easy. That's McDonald, the governor's #1 assistant.
What's the matter with him? He love apes or something?
Don't it figure? Hold it, Bill.
Lousy human bastards!
Who said that?
I did. He's a performing ape for my circus.
A talking ape?
No, that's impossible. It was I who spoke.
It didn't sound to me like your voice. Yell lousy human bastard.
That's not what I said.
That's what I heard. Now look, mister, you yell lousy human bastards.
Lousy human bastard.
We said yell!
Lousy human bastards!
Yeah, could be. I don't think so.
It's right. The ape spoke.
That's right.
No, they're mistaken.
As minute 13, we have a courtyard's worth of gorillas, chimpanzees, and at least one orangutan. We got Milo/Caesar, and a planet's worth of humans. So now we can know McDonald is the governor's #1 assistant. You are my #1.
That's just a name I never hear anymore, McDonald.
Well, first off,
restaurant.
that's funny you did that because just a minute ago, one of you said, I've seen the future, and I almost started singing Prince from Batman. I've seen the future, and it will be. I've seen the future, and it hurts.
We can only do 5 seconds worth before we get hit.
I've seen... I'm done.
All right.
Can we really one time have a musical episode? I'll write the music.
All right.
Can we do that?
All right.
I would love that. All right. So McDonald, we get that. As I watch this minute, I once again am brought to what new information are they giving me, because we don't understand why this person's being beaten. The only thing we get that is new and important is McDonald and his position. And again, I love McDonald. I've always liked McDonald. I think he's an interesting person to put as a black man in this situation.
You're loving it.
I knew there had to be a McDonald's joke at some point.
So I think we get a little bit more than that.
Okay, what do you think we get?
We actually get the start of we get the start of Caesar responding to what's around him.
Okay, that's fair. You're absolutely right.
We get McDonald's thing, but we actually get the start of Caesar's story.
Yes, you're absolutely right. When you look at that, I didn't think of that. I think when it comes into that, we can talk about that more as it goes along. The escalation of that is a very odd escalation in the way it's played. So maybe that's why it didn't ring in my head. But you're absolutely right. This is the opening of the door for Caesar to insert himself as, I've seen enough, I got to do something.
To move the story forward in terms of what's happening, or the change of the nature of his. Well, I can't even talk. It's a future minute, but just the putting him somewhat at odds with Armando in terms of what Armando's goals are, because Caesar does respond. And it's a very, very powerful, lousy human bastards. Mm-hmm. Right? So we see Aldo get sedated, and they have that pause moment, like, here's a giant needle.
Yeah, did they
Aldo,
mess...
I'm going to calm down for just a second so you can insert it into the right site, into my arm.
Yeah, that kind of felt like it was all messed up. Yeah.
And then Aldo responds with the people they have behind the ape masks are doing phenomenal work now. I mean, just comparatively to the last, 3 movies, the masks are on point. The way they're reacting is great. They've got some great actors. I mean, this character, just like the way he responds to the hypodermic needle, just kind of like sighing and falling back and giving what it needs to be done. I will say this is definitely very much the early 1970s. We're filming outdoors, so they don't blast a lot of light around the set to make it look bright, because they're using a lot of natural light to make it feel like it, and it's adding to the shadows that we need for the moments.
Yeah, I do like the natural setting, the everything that's going on with it. I think where my disconnect comes from, as I watch him scream out a comment that needs to be said.
Yeah.
The staging of it is weird, because if you're going to have a situation like that Armando then is going to say it's him, which does occur, you usually would have that camera push to and him almost tuck Caesar,
hide him away. Yeah.
Hide him away. There would be the looks of other people. There's none of that. It's just this weird says it, and then the tone doesn't shift like it's, there's not enough chaos here to bring it down to that so that you hear it. And I think that's one of the reasons when I said nothing happens, that scene feels to me like it's kind of wrong.
Yeah, it feels like it's supposed to be the Heston moment in the first movie of "Get your damn paws off me, you damn dirty apes," and then that's a big shift, because now the world knows that there's a talking human, and that's a big thing. Here, it's get your hands off them, you monsters, and it's hidden. It's not everybody knows there's a talking ape now, and it doesn't have that same impact. It's, yeah.
So the way that the camera moves, the camera is now down at Caesar's angle, and we're getting the commotion of the crowd reacting, and there's a woman slightly behind Caesar, and we're getting the jostle of the camera as he says "lousy human bastards." And I'm not even given the sense that the audience around him realizes that he's the one saying it. What I needed was that moment where the camera might be underneath him and he's coming from a power movement, and you kind of see like his hands coming back off of his chest as he comes out to say "lousy human bastards," and then pulls himself back into the crowd again, where the crowd now saw him kind of stand out and then now reduce himself, versus him being reduced the entire time he says it, because I would not have picked up that the ape is the one who had said it.
So then in the is it in this moment that we get somebody that says Armando said that the ape said it, or is that in the next moment?
It's this minute, because I got a note. The policeman
says, "Who says that?" And Armando goes, "I did."
Yeah, I said, man, Armando almost got away with it until Budinsky stuck his fucking nose into it.
But Budinsky doesn't have a moment, to Richard's point, he doesn't have a moment where he sees it. Maybe he needs to be knocked over by Caesar lurching forward, something, but there's nothing that says he has information that allows him to say it, that he's a threat. It's all staged as though nothing is happening. It's just that. And so I think you're drawing upon that it is the exact same moment for the first film, done poorly, is a pretty good point.
I love that Caesar then bites down on one of the flyers.
Yeah, I like that too.
Kind of hide. And the two SS officers move away from the sedated ape to walk over to Armando, and Armando's like, "I did." And then I guess what I don't understand at this point, and I'll mention again probably later on this week, I don't understand why after 20 years anybody cares about a talking ape at this point.
Well, why it would be a surprise? Because that was national news, world news, that apes came from the future potentially, and they can talk. So talking apes should not be
Okay, it shouldn't be a surprise that an ape could do it. But it is a surprise if you set the world up that those two are dead and their baby died with it. And how would that evolve? We've never seen this slight evolution. If somebody says no, that's one thing. If an ape goes no. But if an ape goes, "you lousy human bastards," That's entirely different. You're constructing a sentence. They should be shocked by that.
But the officers are then like a talking ape, and Armando's no, that's the impossible. I'm the one who spoke. It didn't sound to me like your voice. Yell, lousy human bastards. I mean, there's just this. We've had 20 years of, we've had apes becoming pets, then becoming servants, and I just am. As the moving audience, I'm okay with it. As the coming into this reality, I don't understand why the fear of a talking ape, unless maybe the announcer should have said, not the announcer, the over the broadcast speaker had somehow ceded to us that there's generally fear of apes that could talk.
But I think there already has been said that. No, in earlier minutes, we've heard about no assembly. That occurs. And in coming minutes, there is a fear within it. And I do have to jump into what's coming amongst the governor who we eventually meet, where he is afraid of it. And what I think is that what it's saying is Hasline's fear has almost, and hey, if you don't like that we're going to bash Donald Trump, us, we're going to say it. But what Trump does a lot of time of using fear to control, I think Hasline's fear has crept into this world. And I do think they're saying enough about it that they're terrified that could happen, because they know, they're prescient enough to know that, hey, if that occurs, we're done.
So the two SS guys walk over to Armando, who now says that he's the one who does it, and they want him to yell, "Lousy human bastards." Yeah. Did you just say, "Hey, fucker, can you yell that back to me so I can verify that you're the one that said the terrible thing?"
Because I'm going to tell you right now, he's got a photographic memory. I got photographic ears, which would be the dumbest thing in the whole world if he said it. But,
it's the
because they are the Keystone Cops of Nazi regime.
It's the lineup from Usual Suspects.
Yes.
Give me them fucking money, you fucking cocksucker motherfucker.
So he says, "Lousy human bastards," and the one's like, "Well, yell it for us." And then the script says possibly imitating Caesar. Armando says "lousy human bastards" again. He really sells it in that moment. And I left the one. I was like, "Well, that could be him."
I did too.
I think that sounds like him.
I was like, "Shit,
I'd pass."
And then it was like, "I don't think so." I just love this. Like, oh yeah, that's totally.
Sure. That's exactly the Keystone Cops. I expect any minute with him to take the billy club and go whack, boom, boom.
But it was just
like, what the fuck is this?
It was just absurd that we had some terrible thing yelled at us, and now we need you to yell it back to us so we can just confirm that it's you who said it. So just say it a few more times.
This film, that moment of the film should have been played for our hearts breaking between Caesar and Armando, where maybe Caesar's nestling against his leg or something like that. It's almost saying, "I'm so sorry, I've done this to you." Him stroking his head like, "I've got it, it'll be okay." But they missed that opportunity.
Well,
it's sort of like the possible danger is extracted.
You're thinking of if Caesar was a CG character now and actually ape size, because he's a human size. It's harder to
but I think
get
he could have squatted.
Well, Caesar,
or he could have been under his arm or something like that.
Yeah.
He's protecting him.
Caesar does,
but yes,
Caesar does withdraw back into being stupid ape. He does he
plays the part.
He bites at the officer's kind of garb to kind of play dumb like he did at the beginning. So he does kind of withdraw back in, and I think he realizes what he's done. But it would have been nice to have a little more from the two of their perspective at this moment of what they have to do. Armando sells it. I'm sorry, he does.
Well, I think this may be the first time I get to say it in doing this film. I think that Ricardo is fucking killing it.
Yeah.
And there are moments that come, I'm like, shit, he is real. We all joke about him between being Khan and
Fantasy Island, Mr. Rourke.
Mr. Rourke, thank you. And we look at that. The dude's got some chops. He's pretty good. And I just wish they'd have played with it a little bit more. I think that in the coming 2 minutes that finish out this week, had they played it up a little bit, added a little more escalation into it, the scene could have been like almost devastating that's going to come by the end of the week.
The other thing that doesn't quite really that happens in this moment we don't really feel as much is the crowd is actually agreeing that the ape talked. The crowd is behind him going, "Yes, that's right. It was the ape. The ape did speak." These things are actually happening around us, but it's so muted you don't feel that crowd sense, because you would think that if they're agreeing to the police officers that the ape would talk, that they would be pushing Caesar or pushing him forward or pointing at him or something to
and if
kind
they
of
had
single
done
them out
that,
more.
it almost leads into what happens in the next
Correct.
minute. So
Correct.
it's an escalation of almost a riot. I think you're right.
Right, because they would then report to the police what they saw.
If instead of